Good morning, class 7. Today we are going to study verbs. You have studied the sentence, then you did nouns, adjectives, and articles. Today we are going to do another important part of grammar, another part of speech, that is verbs. Now, when you talk about verbs, the first thing that comes to our mind is any word that denotes action. When you were in small classes, in primary classes, you must have studied that what is a verb? A verb is a doing word. A verb denotes action. Action words are called verbs, or doing words are called verbs. You can define verb in any form. If I say she sings, here singing is an action she is doing. She is doing something. So sings becomes verb. Then if I say he plays with a ball, plays shows that he is doing some action. It denotes some activity. So here plays becomes a verb. So all action words are called verbs. All, you can say, all doing words are called verbs. Now I am reading the definition for you. A verb denotes an action, being, or possession. A verb denotes an action, being, or possession. Now I am reading some more things for you. The juggler played with 4 balls. Played. Playing is the action shown in this sentence. So here the word played is a verb. All the children sang the song. The action is singing of a song. So the word sang is verb. The list is very long. The list is very long. Another word is the players were happy. The players were happy. Here in these two sentences, is and were are verbs. They are helping verbs. They denote being. Okay? They denote being. They are called helping verbs. So is and were are verbs here. The nightingale has a sweet voice. Here the word has shows possession. The nightingale possesses a sweet voice. It means possesses. Then another sentence, these houses have beautiful lawns. Here the word have is denoting possession. So it is a verb here. That means that these houses possess beautiful lawns. So a verb is that word that can show an action or being or possession. Then I am reading some words which are written in 3 forms: the present, past, and participle. There are 3 forms of verb, children. You should remember this. The 3 forms of verbs are present, past, and past participle form of verb. Like, for example, strike, struck, struck. Lay, laid, laid. Bite, bit, bitten. Seek, sought, sought. Spread, spread, spread. Spread remains spread. Cut remains cut. Cut, cut, cut. Hit remains hit. Hit, hit, hit. Okay, so you must remember that there are 3 forms of verb: the present, the past, and third form of the verb is past participle form of verb. There is no particular list of words, children, because this list is very long. This list of verbs is very long, it is almost endless. So here I can't give you a list of 10 or 15 words and say that children, these verbs are for you to learn. No, I can't do that, because the list of verbs in the present tense, past tense and past participle, the list is endless, almost endless. So this you must do a practice. You must take out exercises of class 7 standard from the net, and you should see how many kinds of verbs, how many varieties you can get there. You will get lot of varieties, lot of words, and then you will also get the past tense form of those words and the past participle form of those words. Now I am reading one exercise for you, and see how you have to fill in the blanks. Fill in the blanks with the past tense form of the verbs given in brackets. Now you must do more practice by taking out words from the net, so that you can learn for yourself or remember for yourself what is the past tense form of the particular word and what is the past participle form of the word. Because the more you know, the more words you know, the better it is for you. So in this sentence, the verb is given in brackets and you have to change the verb into past tense. The verb is given in present tense and you have to change it into past tense. A large number of eagles dash overhead. I am reading the sentence again. A large number of eagles dash overhead. The verb is fly. Fly, what is the past tense? Flew, and past participle is flown. So you have to write the past tense form of the verb. So the answer will be flew. A large number of eagles flew overhead. Second sentence. A river dash near our village. A river dash near our village. The word in the bracket or the verb in bracket is flow. Flow is the verb. And what is the past tense of flow? Flowed. Flowed. The river flowed near our village. Third sentence. The baby dash awake in bed. The baby dash awake in bed. The word is lie. You have to write the past tense of lie in the blank. What is the past tense of lie? Lay. The baby lay awake in the bed. Fourth sentence. The old lady dash her coat on a peg. Or you can write hanger in place of peg also. The old lady dash her coat on a peg. The word in bracket is hang. H-A-N-G, hang. So the answer will be past tense of hang is hung. H-U-N-G, hung. The old lady hung her coat on a peg. Fifth sentence. The enemy dash at night. The enemy dash at night. The word in bracket is flee. Flee means to run away, to escape, to run away. F-L-E-E. So the past tense of flee is fled. The enemy fled at night. So children, you have seen in this exercise how you have to fill in the past tense form of the verb given in brackets. The present tense form of the verb is given in bracket and you have to change it into past tense and write the answer in the blank. Now, verbs are formed from nouns, from adjectives I am reading out some words, how they are changed into a verb. First, let us see how can we form verbs from nouns. The noun is courage and the verb will become encourage. I have taught you once in adjectives how you can add suffix to make a new word, to make an adjective. Here what we are adding? Prefix. Courage. We are adding en before courage and it becomes a verb, encourage. So here en will be called a prefix. Friend. Friend is a noun here and you have to change it into a verb. So friend will become befriend. BEFRIEND. BE is the prefix. Befriend. Then class. Class is a noun. We have to change it into a verb. Class will become classify. 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 Now we will see how you will make a verb from adjective. The adjective is rich and the verb will become enrich. Rich, enrich. Again, ENN is a prefix which we have added to rich and it becomes a new word. Now it becomes a verb. The adjective has now become a verb, enrich. Second, fresh. Fresh. The word here, the adjective here is fresh and you have to change it into a verb. It will become refresh. RE. RE is the prefix which we have added. Refresh. Then loose. Loose is another adjective here. We have to change it into a verb. Loose will become loosen. Loose, loosen. 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 Okay. So this is the way how you can change a noun into a verb or adjective into a verb. Again, there is no limit to such words. You can have an endless list of words like this. So what you will do, how you will practice, just type on the internet, how can we change noun into verbs, or words that are nouns changed into verbs, or words, the adjectives changed into verbs, and you will get a very, very long list of words. Just read that. There is no need to learn, children. Grammar is not a thing to be learnt by heart. The more you read, you will start remembering. There is nothing for you to learn in this. Read many times. You will have to read many times so that you will start remembering automatically. Do this work at least 2 times, 3 times in a week so that you start remembering. You will learn new words. You will start remembering new words. How you will change a noun into a verb and how you will change adjective into a verb. Now I am reading another exercise for you. See how you have to change the words into verbs. Fill in the blanks with the verb form of words given in bracket. It will take me some time to dash myself to these changes. It will take me some time to dash myself to these changes. The word in bracket is custom. The word in bracket is custom. CUSTOM. Custom will become accustom. Custom will change into accustom. Accustom will become a new verb. A is added. Alphabet A is added to custom and it becomes a new verb, accustom. Okay? It will take me some time to accustom myself to these changes. Accustom means to adjust to these changes. Second sentence. Don't just dash with people. Help them if you can. Don't just dash with people. Help them if you can. In brackets, the word is sympathy. Sympathy. If you have to change sympathy into a verb, it will become sympathize. Sympathize. The spelling is sympathize. Sympathize. So the whole sentence will become like this. Don't just sympathize with people. Help them if you can. Third sentence. Our team was able to dash the score in the second half. Our team was able to dash the score in the second half. In brackets, the word is equal. Equal will become equalize. Equalize is going to be your verb. Equal will change into equalize. EQUALISE. So the answer, I am reading the whole sentence now. See how the answer will be written. Our team was able to equalize the score in the second half. Next sentence. Did you dash how carelessly you had done the work? The word is real. The word in bracket is real. You have to change real into a verb. So the answer will become realize. REALISE. Realize. Did you realize how carelessly you had done the work? Next. We ought to purify the water we want to drink. Purify. I have told the answer already. I am reading the sentence again with the blank. We ought to dash the water we want to drink. The word in bracket is pure. Pure will become purify. PURIFY. We ought to purify the water we want to drink. So this is how verbs are formed. Custom will become accustom. Sympathy will become sympathize. Pure, purify. Real, realize. Equal, equalize. Rich, enrich. Fresh, refresh. Lose, loosen. Class, classify. Friend, befriend. Courage, encourage. Okay, so when you will see the PDF, children, you have to copy down everything in your classwork copy. Then keep that copy in front of you after writing everything and see the video again. Then you will understand each and everything what I am teaching you just now. And try to see more exercises on the net so that you can see how new nouns are changed into verbs, how adjectives are changed into verbs, how you will add any prefix, it will become a verb. The more new words you come across, the better it will be. It will help you to enhance your vocabulary. It will help you to know about new verbs which are formed. It will help you to increase your knowledge about verbs. Just try to read more. The more you will read, the more you will remember. Automatically you will start remembering. You don't have to learn anything in this. Okay? Now, before I finish the class, let us quickly revise what is going to come in our exams also once again. Although we have revised already, I have taken up revision of each topic separately, but today we are going to quickly brush up all the topics which are going to come in the exam once again, so that you are in touch with those topics and you don't forget those things. Let us begin with articles. What is an article, children? Articles are demonstrative adjectives also. They are called demonstrative adjectives. Which are the three types of articles we have studied? We have studied a, and the. In which cases do you use article A? We use article A when a word begins with a consonant. If a word begins with a consonant, we use article A. For example, a cow, a table, a chair, all these words begin with a consonant. Then we also use article A if the word is starting with a vowel but it has a consonant sound. We use article A if the word begins with if in case a word begins with a vowel but it has a consonant sound. Then we use article A and both when we talk about countables in the singular number. Countables in the singular number, like an apple, although it is starting with a vowel, but it is a countable in the singular number, so we are using an apple. A banana, an orange, a potato, all these are countables in the singular number. Then just now I told you that we use article A also in we use article an in those cases where the word begins with a it begins with a consonant but it has a vowel sound, like he is an honest boy, he is an honorable man. All these words begin with they begin with a consonant but they have a vowel sound, so we write an before them. Then very simple thing to remember is we use an in before a vowel. What are vowels? A, E, I, O, U. If there is any word which begins with a vowel, you will use article an. Then we use article an before abbreviations if they have a vowel sound, like an MA, an MLA, an MP. MP here is Member of Parliament. It is not Madhya Pradesh. Okay, so these are the uses of article A and an. Now where to use article the? Article the is used in specific places. When we are particularizing something, we are talking about some particular thing or we are specifying something. Then we use article the before superlatives. He is the tallest boy of the class. It is superlative degree. Then we use article the before words like first, last, next, only, some, same, following and previous. But we don't use article the before last week, last month, last year, next week, next month, next year. Then we use article a when we talk about a common noun, but we are taking that common noun as a whole class, like the rose is a beautiful flower. Then we use article the before earth, moon, sky, sun, names of rivers, seas, oceans, then mountain ranges, holy books, trains, ships, newspapers, well-known buildings, directions, whole families, countries. If the name of the country has a common noun, then in all these cases we use article the. So this is an important thing. These rules you must remember. If you know the rules, there is no problem in any exercise. Now let us quickly brush up what you did in adjectives. We have done adjective, we have done kinds of adjectives, and we have also done degrees of comparison. What is an adjective? An adjective is a word used to qualify a noun or a pronoun. How many kinds of adjectives are there? Adjective of quality, which tells what kind of. Adjective of quantity, answering the question how much. Adjective of number, answers the question how many. Demonstrative adjective is used to point out anything. Interrogative adjective asks a question, and possessive adjective tells whose, or it shows possession or belonging. Then, how many degrees of comparison are there? There are 3 degrees of comparison: positive, comparative, and superlative. In positive degree, we don't compare any person or anything with anybody. The word is written as it is. In comparative degree, we compare 2 persons or 2 things, and we use than. In superlative degree, we compare more than 2 people or more than 2 things, and we always use article the. These are some of the important rules which you must understand and remember. Then we frame adjectives from different words, like from nouns we can make adjectives: honor, honorable; beauty, beautiful; slave, slavish. From verbs we can make new adjectives: quarrel, quarrelsome; talk, talkative. From adjectives itself we can make new adjectives: black, blackish; red, reddish, etc. Then by adding suffixes we can make adjectives: fame, famous; duty, dutiful; fire, fiery; habit, habitual. Okay, I hope you are revising things and you are trying to find out more exercises from the internet so that you can revise more. Then we have studied the noun. What is a noun? A noun is the name of a person, place, animal, or thing. How many kinds of nouns are there? There are 4 kinds of noun: common noun, proper noun, collective noun, and abstract noun. What is the proper noun? If we are taking the name of a person or a thing, that is a proper noun. If we are talking about a particular person or thing, we are naming it properly, we are specifying the name, then it is a proper noun. Like Ramesh is a tall boy. Ramesh, we are not talking about any noun, we are not talking about any person, we are talking about a particular boy, and we are naming the boy also Ramesh. So Ramesh is a proper noun. Then the Hindustan Times is a popular newspaper. Here the Hindustan Times will become a proper noun because we are taking the name of that newspaper. Then what is a common noun? When we are talking about any person, thing, place, we are not specifying the name. We are talking about these things in common or these persons in common. Then it is a common noun. Like book, pen, river, mountain. If we are not mentioning their name and we are just writing a river flows in my city. River is a common noun because you are not writing which river, you are just writing river. Similarly, collective noun is a collection of things. When we talk about things collectively, we talk about anything in collection, then it is a collective noun. It can be a collection of persons or collection of things, like army of soldiers, bouquet of flowers, bunch of keys, bunch of grapes, etc. Then abstract noun. In abstract noun, again we cannot see or touch anything, we can feel. It expresses any abstract emotion or feeling. We can't touch it, we can feel it. Beauty, wisdom, honesty, all these are abstract nouns. Then we have studied sentences. There are what is the main thing you have to keep in mind, how you will identify whether a group of words is a sentence or not. If the sentence is starting with, if the group of words make complete sense, they start with a capital letter, They end with a full stop or a question mark or an interrogative mark, and they have a verb. If all these things are present, that means it is a sentence. How many kinds of sentences we have studied? We have done 4 types of sentences. First is declarative or assertive sentence. Second is interrogative sentence. Third is imperative sentence. And fourth is exclamatory sentence. Declarative or assertive sentences can be further classified into positive or negative sentence, or affirmative or negative sentence. If any sentence has not or no in itself, that means it has become a negative sentence. If no or not is not present, that means it is affirmative. Interrogative sentences always ask a question. Then imperative sentences, if you see there is a command in the sentence or any advice or request, that means it is imperative sentence. Then exclamatory, if any sentence shows sudden emotion or feeling, it can be happy feeling or sad feeling, and it ends with an exclamation mark, that means it is an exclamatory sentence. So keep on revising, children. All these things, all these chapters are very important. Whether you are in class 7 or in any other class, you will need these basic things always whenever you are speaking or writing English. So keep on revising, and in our next class we will do something new. Thank you, children. Have a nice day.